Yeah, so I think we're all here and we can get started. So we have the AVME team with us. They're building a very cool desktop wallet, and they have some great integration features. Well, let's just introduce all the speakers today. So we'll start on the Pangolin side. My name's Leo. Justin, you want to say hello?
Hey everyone, Justin here, and I'm the PM at Pangolin.
And Brandon?
I'm Markus. I'm from the AVME, one CEO from the AVME, together with Ita.
Hello, I'm also the co-founder, and also I am the lead developer of the AVME.
Yeah, it's great to have you.
This is Brandon, lead dev on the Pangolin side. Hey all.
Nice to meet you.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining our AMA. This is Ozge. I'm the public relations manager at Pangolin. Enjoy the AMA.
Cool. Okay, awesome. So yeah, let's get started. Let's learn a little bit about the AVME team. We have a couple questions that our team has prepared. We've taken 3 questions from Twitter. Thank you for posting questions there. And then we'll take any questions that the listeners have in our chat. So just to kick it off, you know, Ita and Markus, how did AVME start? Why did you guys decide to start building this product?
Ita, you want to start?
Okay, so last year we have decided to start the project because we have noticed that there's a hole in the security scene. There's a hole for the for security over computers. Like there's no there's no choice for the users that want to keep their privacy and want to keep them safe from like malware and other things. So we have started like drafting the ideas in the middle of last year, and we have started the development of it December last year.
That's awesome.
Exactly. Because, sorry to interrupt you, because decentralized antivirus is something completely new on the market. There's no other products that you can compare with this at the moment. So we are proud to be the first ones.
Yeah, that's very true. You know, I've never heard of decentralized antivirus until I came across your project either. And you know, just a follow-up question is, so the focus of your project is the decentralized antivirus, but it seems that you've started with the wallet part of the protocol. Can you tell us why you started with the wallet instead of the security suite?
Should I start?
Yes. So okay, the reason that we you want to...
No, go ahead. Sorry. No, I have a small delay here inside. I don't know why. So it was not my intention to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Okay. I will start. You can complete me later.
Yes.
So the reason that we started developing the wallet is are multiple reasons behind it. One is like everything will be done through smart contracts. So even when we have the antivirus solution and the security suite ready, as everything is done through smart contracts, it requires a wallet to properly interact with the contracts that are deployed in the network. The second reason is because we saw that there is a gap on the Avalanche community and the Avalanche ecosystem, that there is no dedicated wallet for the Avalanche itself. Like you can mostly only use MetaMask for C-chain or the browser wallet for X-chain. There's no desktop option for the user, so we started developing it. It is we're creating the foundations for the antivirus. There is also, if you go to our GitHub, you will see that the language that we chosen for the wallet itself it is C++ that. And this language, if you are not a developer, it allows us to have a easy access to the low-level points of the operation system. So it makes easier for us to develop the proper antivirus engine. Like you cannot create antivirus in a language like JavaScript.
And in the later state of our project, the wallet will act like a base for different plugins and premium services we offer, like the antivirus, the malware check, scanning nodes, VPN, a cloud storage option, and many interesting ideas. The password manager, of course.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That it's the wallet is the foundation of your entire suite of products, so you had to build it first before moving on to the other features. That's really great. I kind of want to get the thoughts of the Pangolin team on this particular product offering. What do you guys think about the AVME project, about decentralized antivirus?
This is a quick question, real quick. Can I go first, and then we'll kind of tag team this one?
Of course.
So I got a quick question to the AVME team. This is, maybe you can answer really quickly. Would you think that your product right now is more viewed in lines of the wallet or the antivirus?
Currently, we are focusing more on the wallet. As I said, we are creating our foundation, and we want to have a pretty strong foundation before moving on.
Exactly.
Okay,
the wallet is at the moment a kind of marketing product for us to keep the attention and get the attention of users for our main project.
Sure, just wanted to double check on that one. Because we've gotten the question in these AMAs a few times about, what do you think of the next year, next 5 years of Pangolin or DeFi or Avalanche? And kind of the answer that comes back is like, we don't know what that's going to look like. It's so new in the entire field. So yes. I'm excited to hear tools like decentralized antivirus popping up as something that's novel concept as well as novel implementation. And if that could start from Avalanche with the Else project, I think that will bring tremendous clout to everything out here. I'm a little sad that you can't do this in JavaScript because I love me some JavaScript, but of course it makes sense why.
Also very important to mention is that we don't only want to face the crypto community, we also want to get normal customers, people who have never something to do with crypto in their life, to use our product in the future. So to have a very, very huge attention.
Sure. What about your thoughts, Justin?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think in terms of a virus scanner or on the blockchain, it's definitely the first I've ever heard of it, which obviously whenever you're doing something that's never been done before, you get people that get very excited because of the innovation, and then you also get the detractors. What I'm very interested in seeing is, what do you classify as a virus? So for example, on the blockchain, if someone is using flaws in code to do something, where does that line get blurred between a virus and your product? Like, I'm very interested to see, do you foresee your virus checker only being a desktop virus checker? Do you then, now we're starting to see, I guess, a class of what you could theoretically term viruses occur on the blockchain. Is that something you would take your product into to then, scan potential security vulnerabilities within smart contracts, as an example?
Our final product will be a real-time antivirus checker that can compete with all big products at the moment, like Kaspersky or other virus checkers. So a full replacement of this, just decentralized. So
Our goal is to create a decentralized security suite that is composed from multiple tools. Like we are currently focusing more on the antivirus as the ultimate goal, but in the way you will be releasing like a decentralized VPN service, a decentralized password manager, a decentralized cloud storage service in where you don't have to trust a company, you only have to trust the algorithm itself. It's not of our goal to check for viruses inside of their own blockchain, but it is something that can be studied because I find it really curious from what you said.
That sounds great. Yeah, thanks for the thoughts, Brandon and Justin. And just to clarify the answers, so it does sound like to the end user, the AVME product will be scanning the viruses on the desktop, and not necessarily in the smart contracts on the blockchain. So thanks for clearing that up. Cool. So we're about 15 minutes in, got 30 minutes left in the AMA. Let's jump into some Twitter questions. So we have 3 Twitter questions that we've selected. First one is, can you tell us a little about the token diversification and modularized integration features of the AVME wallet? And what are the future features as well? What do you guys think about that?
So this I mentioned already. Okay, Ita, continue. Sorry.
Okay, so currently we are working on the 2.0 update that is going to bring the possibility of using multiple tokens. So the wallet will support all tokens over the C-chain network. And also we are implementing a modularized system where other decentralized application developers can add like new applications to the wallet without having the user to update the wallet. Like, for example, we are currently talking with Penguin Finance to integrate it. So Penguin Finance developers can develop integration for the wallet, and the user can go on our wallet. There is going to be like something like an application store where the user can select a few applications, like the user only uses like Penguin Finance or only uses Snowball besides Pangolin. So the user can decide what they want to add to the wallet. And this modularized system, we're trying to make it's extremely easy for the developer to integrate on your wallet. So our goal is like to be a hub for Avalanche. With the wallet, we are aiming to bring, like, sorry, how do I explain this? So the current problem that we have solved is like there is no wallet that can follow the Avalanche chain speed, that cannot catch up to it. So we're currently building something that can run along the Avalanche speed and reliability.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. The 2.0 update with supporting all the tokens in the C chain as well as direct app integration. Very cool vision for that. What about Justin and Brandon? What do you think about hardware wallets versus the browser wallets as a user and as a developer?
So I'll jump in here. So hardware wallets. So let me start first from a user perspective, and then I'll kind of clarify my thoughts as a user versus my thoughts as generally a pretty safety conscious person. So first of all, as a user, I think hardware wallets, the user experience is very challenging to a lot of newcomers to crypto. Trying to get people to understand that you've got to use this extra device, it adds mental load onto new users, and it can be quite intimidating. It's this whole learning experience that people need to do. So what happens then is the whole benefits of a hardware wallet is the promise of safety. Or the
hey Justin, sorry, I think I misspoke. Instead of hardware, I meant desktop. So AVME is a desktop wallet. Yeah. So you just install it on your computer. You don't need like an extra physical device. Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, I misheard. Yeah, desktop wallets are great. Like I use, for example, I use Rotkey, which is a desktop accounting application for the blockchain. And the reason I use it locally is because I don't have to store my keys anywhere. So, you know, anything happens, if there's any breaches online, I'm not having any of my credentials or security compromised. So it kind of reduces the attack vector. And you know, it depends on your device, right? I use my PC, my desktop every day. So I like local programs just because, you know, it suits my workflow. Also MetaMask, while I like it, I think the ease of interoperability and the fact that it's become a de facto standard is brilliant. But again, the security, I'm a little paranoid about MetaMask's security, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Exactly, and at this point, I would like to mention that we have fully Ledger integration, even in our first version of the AVME wallet at the moment. So you can connect it with Ledger. Your keys your private keys will never use your Ledger, and it's a big security thing for most of the people.
Another thing that we focus on the wallet is like everything is kept encrypted, compared to MetaMask, where you are able to like load your wallet on only required to type your password a single time. On the AVME wallet, we really focus on the security of it. So everything is kept encrypted except the time it's needed. For example, every time the user wants to do a transaction, it will ask for the password in order to decrypt the private keys to sign the transaction. And then after it will trash the decrypted private key in order to keep it safe and secure.
Yeah, this is something I think a lot of folks might not understand, is that a hardware wallet isn't actually storing your crypto in the hardware wallet. It's storing the private key that lets you access your crypto. Yes. At all points in time, the balance of that crypto is on chain. So MetaMask stores that private key in, you know, the plugin or kind of some cloud storage, whether that happens to be, whereas something like a Ledger or a desktop wallet is going to keep that private key somewhere else that might not always have internet access. And that's where the security comes from. So at the core, everything's just signing things. And what you can do with a hardware wallet, or something I presume y'all are doing as well, is you take that transaction into some secure environment, sign it there, and then send back that signed transaction. So at no point the key was exposed.
Exactly. That's I had to backward reverse engineer my Ledger in order to properly implement the Ledger support on the wallet, because as we are using C++, there was no library for us to use, so I had to implement everything from scratch. And this is exactly what happens. I send the transaction details through USB to the Ledger, and the Ledger returns for me the signed transaction. It never leaves the Ledger.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate the discussion around, you know, the desktop wallets versus the browser wallets, the most popular one right now being MetaMask. So really good question from Twitter, and appreciate the insight from the AVME team. Okay, let's take the second question from Twitter right now. This question is asking, what's the advantage of using decentralized antivirus over traditional antivirus? How is it better than centralized antivirus?
I would like to answer this. It's actually an interesting question, because what is better in decentralized money than in centralized money, like what the states have? Exactly the point that you don't have to trust somebody, trust an issuer. Everybody's trusting his antivirus program, like Kaspersky I mentioned. I don't have so many antivirus programs in my head now, maybe because it's a little bit too late, but you trust your data and your computer and all your documents. You trust a centralized company who checks it and who rate your things if you have a virus or you don't have a virus. So in fact, you give access to your complete computer and all your document to a third-party company. And this is what we don't have here. We have a completely decentralized system, and you have to trust nobody.
Besides that, it brings transparency. Like one thing that I find really curious about the centralized antivirus, if you like download something that is a malware and the antivirus, like, oh, say this is a virus, it will not explain in details, it will not show why this was targeted with virus. With AVME, we aim to have everything transparent to the end user. So, like, if a malware was detected by your scanning nodes as a malware, it will be stored the reason for it, the malware signatures, and everything in between, so the user can have the transparency and verify by himself that this was really something that it was malicious. Everything practically, everything that's compared between decentralized and centralized boils down to trust. You have to trust the company, you have to trust the software, you have to trust everything in computer with them. Some companies even got caught selling, like, if I remember correctly, it was Avast that was caught selling user privacy browsing history to third parties. So with AVME, everything will be kept open source, so you are able to see exactly what our antivirus engine is doing, what is being done by the network, etc.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, so to kind of summarize, the AVME team is taking a traditional software product, which is antivirus, and decentralizing it, similar to how DEXs like Pangolin took traditional trading and decentralized it. So, I mean, Brandon and Justin, what are your thoughts on this? Are we going to see more products like antivirus, like traditional tools, come to the blockchain?
I think we're already seeing it. Oh, I'll see you, mate.
I mean, I think there's this opinion that, blockchain is crypto, and then even then that like crypto is DeFi. And while I like to sell into that, I think it's a large chunk, and it's definitely the part, most of us are significantly interested in. There are so many more applications for blockchain technology, and that doesn't have to be decentralized blockchain either. It still has benefits for verifying, historical events from a central party. So I expect to see much more of this, and I'm definitely excited to see new applications looked into for it. I guess I've got some concerns between the decentralized aspect and the centralized, but perhaps easier to use. So like as a developer, I love looking and using open source software. Not so much that I can verify what's going on inside there, but more so if something goes wrong or something is not working the way I want it, I can just go and change it myself. I think most users in the broader sense don't like that. They just want it to work, and they're not going to be changing it. But different features like access to the dev team means a lot to users like that.
Yeah. Great feedback, Brennan. So from my perspective, there's a few things, right? So there's decentralization, and then there's tokenization. I think in terms of bringing these traditional pieces of software, sometimes it doesn't make sense for them to be decentralized if it doesn't match the use case. So I don't think everything in the world needs to be decentralized. I think some use cases and some applications do make sense not to be. But then again, I think where, there's some very good usage is, streaming services with the Theta token, VPN services. You're already seeing these types of things where having a decentralized aspect to the engineering makes a lot of sense for the actually creating a better, improved product. And then I think there's a tokenization of these projects. So generally what's happened is to build a software product, it's obviously very expensive. A lot of man hours and woman hours, and you really need funding, so the traditional method has been to go into VCs. But the tokenization that comes with decentralization enables a lot more power, a lot more ability for project teams to actually, get that funding from crowdsource. And that, I think, is incredibly powerful too, which enables these types of applications to be built.
Yeah, really good thoughts, and appreciate the insight. Especially the tokenization part. I think it's really powerful how projects like Pangolin, like AVME can, get investors and funds right away through DeFi. It's really cool. So appreciate everyone's thoughts on that. Okay, let's go to our last Twitter question, and then I see some questions from the crowd trickling in, so we'll try to get to those too. So the final Twitter question is, what are the plans adopted by AVME to have a global adoption? What regions, what countries, and how do you increase awareness among cryptos?
So we're aiming to reach the masses. So the wallet and the security suite itself is separated products that work together. Like the wallet can be integrated with the antivirus, but the security suite itself, we're aiming to if you are paying us, you are paying for access for the premium services like the VPN service, you will be able to pay in fiat, like using credit cards through our company, and we will deal with the crypto stuff behind it. So we're aiming to reach all the users that are interested in the kind of service. Besides of that, we have run some preliminary calculations for the price of the service, especially on the VPN service. As far our calculations went, we were able to compete with the market, even charging half of the price of the major centralized service like NordVPN, for example.
Okay, that's really cool. So it sounds like you're targeting not just DeFi and crypto users. You're targeting
exactly
anyone who needs these services, right?
The wallet,
exactly, because the wallet will be separated from the antivirus part and from the plugins.
Yes, the security suite itself will have a wallet in the backend, but the end user don't even know that they are using a blockchain technology. So we're firstly reaching the crypto community for support, like creating a wallet, creating a hub for Avalanche, doing something great for the community. But our ultimate goal is reach the masses, like users that are interested in, for example, LastPass, or users that are interested on NordVPN, or users that are interested in an antivirus solution. So as I have said, there are differences between the antivirus and the premium services. The antivirus itself, the basic protection will be free for any user in the world. So that lowers the entry barrier for users to use the AVME protocol to practically nothing. But the premium services will be charged. But as I said, we already run some calculations, and we are able to compete with the major centralized service providers.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I really like that the vision is to make it as seamless as possible for people who don't know how or don't want to learn how to use crypto and DeFi, because it is hard, especially if you're not technical, right? And I think this is kind of the vision that Pangolin has too. I mean, Justin and Brandon, do you want to touch upon your thoughts on how to make things more streamlined for average users?
Jeez, I remember the first time I saw a DEX. I think I was seeing tokens from Curve. So it was all these, Y prefixes and plus signs, and combined with other tokens. I didn't know what that meant in the first place. And I was like, oh, God, this is ridiculous. People are making money on this. Maybe I'll figure it out. And something we've kind of come across is the difference between someone who's been living out in DeFi land and their experiences and their perspective versus someone who's brand new and looking at this for the first time. And things track very differently. So in some of the UX redesigns we've been doing, a lot of those concerns have come up of like, hey, this isn't a normal flow for a user. Or we've brought on kind of normies, for lack of a better term, who, you know, are interested in maybe stepping their foot in the waters. And I'll show them Pangolin's front end or the charting tools we have and get their feedback. It's completely different than what I look at and what I'm looking for someone who's much more familiar with the space. So we're looking to kind of integrate that to be easier for people that have, you know, zero starting point to bring them up to speed. And if Pangolin can be a good avenue for that through things like, you know, FAQs, the Pangolin Academy, a streamlined UI, just general availability to kind of answer questions, like, I think that would be great for both Pangolin and all of DeFi out here in Avalanche.
I think that's a fantastic answer. It's about growing the pie, right? So you look at kind of the people that are DeFi natives, and generally they've had to take some time. They've probably taken a few hits. Some of them may have been involved in a rug pull or two, but the user experience of getting involved in DeFi is not optimal. And if we want to grow the pie, we need to make it optimal and make it intuitive and encourage more people from the broader world to come in and enjoy the benefits of DeFi.
Yeah, great perspectives. Thank you for that, Brandon and Justin. Cool. So we got through some pretty good topics from Twitter. Really appreciate the questions posted there. And we've got 10 minutes left in our AMA. It's been really good so far. Let's try to get through a couple of the questions asked just in Telegram. So I'm going to start with one from Brandon, because I was wondering it too, about the AVME token. Can you explain the purpose of the AVME token and how it integrates with your products?
So the AVME token will be used to both pay for the services and be rewarded to the nodes to the computer power that is being dedicated to the network. So as everything is going to be done in smart contracts, it requires a token to be properly used. Like I have said, the token will be used for paying for the services, like the premium services, like the VPN access or password manager, cloud storage, and others. And is also going to be used to reward the dedicated computer power for the network that is constantly analyzing malware, that is dedicating the networking for the VPN service, that is dedicating the storage for the cloud service. So that is the use case for the token. It will be the bridge on the smart contracts in order to do all that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's really cool. And you know, for those who haven't checked it out, I think AVME is a top 20 token in Pangolin right now, you know, in terms of liquidity and volume. So it's definitely seeing some usage, at least trading wise. So here's another good question, and it's about UX design. This one's from 8-Bit Giraffe from the Snowball team. So he's asking, what are your plans for the wallet's design? Do you have UX designers dedicated to create a unique and better design?
Yes, we do, and that's why we're doing the 2.0 updates. I think he's also asking about the integration. So we will be giving, like, for the developers that are building over our wallet, that they are building the applications of our wallet, we will be giving free access to do almost anything on the design side. So Pangolin, so for example, Penguin Finance can copy their design of their website inside of a wallet. So you'll be providing this kind of abilities for them to do.
Okay, yeah, and how about some thoughts from you know, Justin and Brandon? Like, have you seen the AVME wallet? What do you think of their design, and what do you look for in a wallet's design when you're using it?
Yeah, I'll jump in. So yeah, I've looked at it definitely. So you know, my missus is a UX and UI designer. So she's kind of helped me, I guess, identify things that generally I normally wouldn't. Generally, what I look at is the first thing that I think naturally humans look at is the color palette. So what are the colors? I think that's just a natural reaction. And then I look at what is the user flow. So how many clicks, where do my eyes go? You know, so if I want to do something like a swap, if I want to do something like a transfer, you know, how intuitive is it, the placement of those functionalities into how I want to do it. So, and then I generally play around with it. Like if I get confused and if I find that I don't know where to go, that's generally when I kind of think, okay, well, maybe it should have been done. Again, it's subjective too, right? It's always hard for me when I do testing because I test from a very different perspective to other users. So I have my own cognitive bias. So like, I guess from a user, there's one thing, and then from someone that builds software, I guess there's the other side of things, which is how do we ensure that a broader group tests it? But I'm a sucker for intuitive designs. Like I just want to get in, get out. Yeah, so clean, easy to use is my kind of key phrases.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for that perspective. And you know, I've seen your designs too in the AVME wallet, and you know, really cool. Great work that your team's building. So congrats on that. Okay, we've got 5 minutes left. Let's see if we can take a couple more questions here. So just scrolling up in the chat. So can you tell us, you know, how your thoughts on just the other wallets that are building in the space too? You know, for example, I think Coin98 has a mobile wallet that's kind of popular right now on Avalanche. You know, are there any projects that you like that you're talking to, or what are your thoughts, Ita and Marcus?
From my point, I never used the mobile wallet, to be honest. What I use is the mobile wallet, the mobile application of Ledger Live, but that's it. I never used the mobile wallet. And I'm aware that many people are using it. This is the reason why we also develop a mobile wallet for AVME. But I think a desktop wallet is much more important than any mobile wallets in the first place.
Yes, I find really curious what Coin98 is doing, which is being a hub for all the platforms. But I believe that also there's a missing spot for a desktop wallet. But as Marcus said, we are also developing a mobile wallet for both iOS and Android devices that will also have integration with Pangolin, multiple tokens, other decentralized applications on the Avalanche. We are creating something that is dedicated to Avalanche and that can follow the speed and the qualities of the Avalanche blockchain. In the future, will be the next major update after 2.0, the next major update that will take a few months to go. We're aiming to integrate exchange support and also multiple chain support, like Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum and others will be also integrated in the wallet.
Yeah, that's really cool. I really like that you've chosen Avalanche as your home and recognize the power of its network. And
there are multiple reasons that we picked the Avalanche. It's like mixed reasons. One of which is subnets. In order to do this kind of service, like the security suite, the antivirus service, in a proper decentralized way, without having a central authority, like saying that this node is cheating or it needs to be paid rewards, you need high throughput of contract calls. So the reason we choose Avalanche is because it have wide throughput and allow us to create our own subnet with our own rules. So we don't cluster the main C chain network.
That's really great to hear. You know, I think anyone who's been in the space knows that subnets are what makes Avalanche really unique and powerful. Is the fact that you can, you know, build within your own confined subnet. And so it's great to hear that AVME, the team, has that on their roadmap. So really cool. Okay, we've got a couple minutes left. Just want to let you guys, you know, share any final thoughts or questions from either the Pangolin or the AVME side.
I want to start with something because maybe you already hear it, because neither mine nor Ita's native language is English. So we do our best here, and I hope you understand us anyway, because Ita's native language is Portuguese and mine is German. And there are a lot of questions about the innovation and why people should trust our AVME wallet. And I would like to mention that as the Emperor of Germany 120 years ago, Wilhelm II, he said, "I believe in the horse. The automobile is a temporary appearance." So there's no other way in the future than the horse. And with any innovation and with everything new, people are skeptical and people don't know. And very soon it's normal.
So one thing that I would like to point out is that our executable file is magnet. So if you download the avme.exe from our website or GitHub, you can go to the wallet, click on right click, and go to properties and click on digital signatures. So you will see that was signed by me, and it means that you can trust the software. It's a way to prove where it came from.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that quote from Marcus, and just a little bit more explanation from Ita about the security of the wallet executable. I think the point that Marcus is trying to drive is when you hear about a new idea, usually sometimes people are skeptical, they're scared, they don't know if it's going to work, but in a lot of examples it does work, and you just need forward thinkers like the AVME team, like anyone working in crypto and DeFi, to push innovation forward. So I appreciate that thought and that quote. Cool. So we are at 45 minutes. I want to be conscious of people's time. Really appreciate you guys coming out to answer questions. I learned a ton about your project and your team. You guys want to just give some closing thoughts, and we'll wrap up today?
Oh yes, I forgot to mention for the last question. As I have said, everything in the wallet is kept encrypted, and we really focused on the security of the tokens and coins that you are storing in your wallet.
Awesome, yeah. And if anyone has more questions, please check out the Telegram channel, Discord, the website. Well, you guys can drop the links in the chat so people can get those easily after we're done here. And Pangolin team, any last thoughts before we wrap up today? Justin, Brandon, Oscar.
No, just really looking forward to seeing the next steps. I think from a technical perspective, what the AVME team has done is incredibly impressive. Building ledger support in such an early version, building it in C++, which I know is a very difficult language.
I love it.
You're a better man than me. And I think from a technical perspective, and what they've done is very difficult, and they've done a great job of it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more.
Yeah, C++, for those who don't know, is quite granular. Like, it will do exactly what you want to do in such a way that you might not have realized how specific you had to be. Like, if you go to your fridge and say, I want some eggs, and it's like, well, how many eggs? Like, okay, 2 eggs. It's like, okay, which position you want, the first and third egg. You're like, yeah, I guess. And then it doesn't get them because you didn't tell it to open the cartridge first. It's like you really got to be in there.
One of the comparisons that I like to use is like when you are coding something like in Python, if you screw up, you are shooting yourself in on the feet. But in C++, if you screw up, you are shooting you in the, like blowing your leg off. Another thing that I would like to point out is due to the language that we chosen for the wallet being C++, it made the wallet being incredibly fast and lightweight compared to other wallets in the market. So for example, currently the current version only use 30 megabytes of RAM and practically don't use any CPU at all.
Yeah, that's really good to know about, you know, the technology choice affords you some benefits, even though it is harder to work with. So cool. Let's wrap up here. And if anyone has more questions, you know, both of our teams are available to answer. So appreciate everyone coming to our AMA today. And have a great day.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for letting us participate on this AMA. It was really nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Okay, see you guys.
Stay healthy.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers,
Ciao.
everyone.